Hey guys, I am back to do a live for you guys. I hope everybody is doing well. You guys have had a wonderful day today. I hope it went well today. If you had to work today, I hope that worked well for you. Hold on, I think the music is too loud. Turn it down just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to test this mic out during this read. This is a live, and we're going to do it for the sign of Virgo. This is for the sign of Virgo. And we are going to see. And the fact that I chose to test the microphone out, it seems like everything worked well. It's one of those microphones. The instruction booklet said you can use it for a Mac or a PC, but it didn't say anything about a Chromebook. And I own a Chromebook. So I had to look that one up and found that it was compatible with the Chromebook as well. And it gave me instructions on how to, install this with a Chromebook. And it seems so far that everything is working well, and I am very pleased with that as well. I had a good day today, y'all. I did. I'm probably going to turn in early tonight. I'm a little tired, but we're going to go ahead and get this Virgo reading started. This is for the star sign of Virgo, one of the earth signs. And we're going to get started with a tarot card I'm sorry, this is tarot. We're going to get started with a oracle card. Okay. And we'll see what is going down on the timeline, what spirit would like to say at this time for Virgo. Thank you all that have shown your support by liking this channel and sharing my videos and my lives and any of my shorts. Thank you for the views, the likes, the comments. I really appreciate you guys supporting immensely. I really do. I would love to build this community a little bit more with you guys. I would love to see you guys interacting with one another here on this channel in particular. This is a safe space for all of us to engage, connect, of whatever it is that is uplifting the vibration of this planet. This is a channel that's specifically for light workers. And I mean, anyone can be a part of this community. I love especially connecting with light workers who know these are the people that have a special I don't want to say calling, but assignment. I guess you want to say calling, it's the same thing. And they know what they're here to do specifically. Everybody don't know, but there are a lot of people that do. I love engaging with everyone, but especially my light workers. Everyone is special here. Keep in mind there is no gender in tarot. So if I say he, it could be a she. If I say she, it could be a he. Everything will not resonate with everyone. This is for entertainment purposes. You can't take everything that you hear from myself or any other tarot reader as law. Okay, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. It's not for you. It's not for you. Don't take anything personal and try to make something fit if it's not your situation. Okay. If it doesn't apply, please let it fly. Okay. And with that, we're going to move on. I've already got one card that has come out for this reading, and this is for the sign of Virgo. These cards feel like they want to talk right now. I have lots of cards that are wanting to come out, but not completely falling out. I have some that are right on the edge. So it's like, and I actually have one that's flipped over and I didn't even know it. Okay. So we have two. I usually like to go with 5. This is going to be interesting already. This is for the sign of Virgo, okay? I'm gonna see if I can set a time for us when we do go live and on what days if nothing comes up. That way you guys will know in advance. And then I'll try to post it on the community board to let you know when I'm gonna go live. That way you guys can join me at that date and time, okay? I'll try to get some type of schedule or something going on. This particular Oracle deck is a little lightweight, meaning it doesn't have a whole lot of cards. So I feel like I shuffle through this deck really quickly and then having to start over. So I'm looking for 2 additional cards and then we'll go ahead and get started. We will start with the Oracle cards and then clarify, okay? Spirit, what else do you have at this time for the star sign of Virgo? What do you have for the star sign of Virgo? What else? This is going to be interesting. I will say that right away, what I'm noticing with the cards that I do have here, even though I'm still waiting on one more card to fall, is that there is someone in particular. I don't know if that's you, Virgo, or someone you're connected to or someone you know that is they're in. I'm going to wait. Hold on. I just got the last card. Oh, wow. Okay, so, and then this is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so what I am seeing so far with this spread is that there is someone that is reminiscing on a past situation. I don't know how recent this past situation is. You know, it's not telling me how long ago this was, or was it like super recent? So I don't have a timeline for that for you, Virgo, but I do see that there is someone that is reminiscing on some past memories that they had with someone that they messed up. They fucked it up, okay? This is what this spread is saying. Okay. This person let some things get in the way. That's what they did. But they would like to rebuild. Okay. It's not telling me why they want to rebuild yet, and we're going to clarify, but I do see that they want to rebuild. Okay. So my first card is the camera card. Okay. It is in the upright. And this is a card that has captured memories um, from that past relationship. This person is reminiscing about the good times that they had with whomever it is either you, Virgo, you're reminiscing, or someone's reminiscing about a past relationship with you. Okay. And someone's reminiscing about the memories, the good times. Um, so far, they're just focused on the good times that was had. Where they were happy with you, Virgo, or you were happy with that person. And it says learn from the past on this card, and then perception. So this person is needing to learn from the past, or you are needing to learn from the past, Virgo, or and change their perception of how things work, or how things are supposed to be, or what happened. Or either you're trying to change somebody's perception of what happened, or someone is trying to change yours. Okay, that's what I'm getting here. So this person misses you, Virgo, or you miss someone. Okay, they are reminiscing, but they would like to be remembered in a better light. If that makes sense, they would like to be remembered in a better way, or you would like to be remembered in a better way. So I don't know exactly what you did, but there's something happened here, and you guys are not together no more. Okay. And so my next card is the engagement ring card. So, and it's in the upright. So I don't know if all my cards are in the upright, by the way. So I don't know if you guys were engaged, Virgo, you and whoever this person is was engaged at one point, but it did not culminate to a marriage. Okay. You guys ended up breaking up before you got married. So somebody, either you, Virgo, or the other person wanted a higher commitment, and you guys was looking at this for the long haul. You was in it for the long haul, or they were um, in it for the long haul. You looked at this person as your partner, and this was, your person, and this person, you felt complete with this person. Um, as you guys worked together on a lot of things together as a partnership, you worked on things together, and this was your view, Virgo, or that was their view of your union that y'all had together. Okay, and it was complete for just the two of you guys. So my third card I have here is the addiction card, and it came out in the upright. Okay, so addiction enters the chat for either you, Virgo, or your partner, your ex-partner. um Somebody has some type of addictions. So on this card, it does not talk about chemical addictions or drugs addictions. It could be that, but it does say that there was some codependency here in this relationship, some obsessions, some restraint, some possessive behavior, some controlling type of behavior, and somebody was emotionally blocked, meaning that they were emotionally unavailable. So where there was one partner that showed a lot of emotions and affection, there was another one that was out of touch or purposely holding them back, or just um, their emotions being blocked, meaning that they're not awakened in that area. You know what I'm saying? That part of their chakras is turned off. Okay. The codependent behavior is when someone feels like they can't do anything without someone else. Okay. So there's a possibility within this relationship when you guys were together that um, someone wasn't allowed to be an individual within this relationship. They weren't allowed to be themselves. Like if you did something, no matter what it was, that the other person felt like they needed to know your every move, or you were like that. Okay. So it's like you couldn't move on your own or do the different things that, you as an individual would do that's outside of your partner. I feel like some of that was going on. The obsessive behavior and possessive behavior, maybe somebody was a little clingy. Um, and then there was somebody that was a little controlling. Possessive meaning like you belong to somebody. They might have, I'm hearing it, but somebody said that to the other person. They treated you like a possession, not um, like you were a thing, or that you treated them like that, like they were a thing. And this was what was going on in the relationship. Somebody was controlling also as well. My fourth card is the backstabbing card, and it came out also in the upright. There was some backstabbing in this relationship when you guys were together. Somebody stabbed the other person. Either you did this, Virgo, or that person did it to you. It caused a lot of heartbreak and pain, which ultimately it was because there was deception and lies. This was a shocking thing because I think it was unexpected at that time, and this ultimately caused the separation between the two of you guys, where you're not together anymore. Okay. And then you have the hammer card. Let me show you hammer. Okay. And with this card, somebody sabotaged this relationship because I think they have a habit of doing that. This was either you, Virgo, or the other person. Okay. So there was a lot of back and forth in this relationship where when you felt like you guys were gaining ground and getting back on track, somebody would sabotage it and then come back and try to fix it again. And then if one of you guys pointed out the other person's issues that's affecting them in a negative way, one of you guys will respond. That person would respond and say that they were, they might apologize half-heartedly about it and say that they're working on it, and that's something that they need to work on and fix about themselves, and but then they end up sabotaging it again, where you guys fall out again. So it felt like it was a back and forth type of cycle that was going on within this relationship. And it was always some type of rebuilding, repairing going on, some apologies. And I get the feeling some of the same issues kept coming up over and over and over again. So we are going to clarify these cards real quick, and then we're going to be done. We're going to do it that way, okay? Hold on. So we are going to clarify. The first card we're clarifying is going to be the camera card. All right, y'all, if that's loud, I apologize. Y'all let me know when you hear this, if the volume is good, if the music in the background is too loud, or if me fidgeting with these cards is loud. Okay, I need to know so I can adjust for you guys. So we are going to go ahead and clarify for the camera card. Spirit, what do you have for the camera card? Why is the camera card here? Why is this person reminiscing? Did they even learn from the past? And what about perception? Why is the camera card here, please? Okay. Our first card to clarify is the King of Swords in the upright. Okay. And this is for the camera card. So with this card in the upright, it's head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. This is an air sign card. But with the King of Swords, this is a person that is makes head over heart decisions. They're disciplined, and they are a truthful and honest person. They are mentally stable and have authority. So with the camera card, and they're reminiscing. So this person made a decision to sabotage this relationship, and they did this without any empathy in doing this. So it makes me feel like, and with the King of Swords, that they made this decision based on need, not love. And this is why they continue to sabotage the relationship, is what I'm getting. This is a King of Swords, supposed to be in the upright. They did not use their heart when they did this, and they did not think about how this would affect the other person, Virgo. They didn't think about that. They continue to do that over and over again. That's why you have the back and forth thing going on. This person wanted to be in control of the whole situation, the whole relationship. So they wanted to call the shots, which is this. That's why we have this King of Swords in the upright here. Um, they wanted to be in a seat of authority because if you look, this person is sitting on a throne. Okay. So this was either you, Virgo, or your partner that made a head over heart decision at some point to go ahead and finally sabotage this relationship and bring it to an end. Okay. And they did that because they were trying to control this relationship, and the other person was not continue to fight back to not allow them to try to control the relationship the way they were trying to use authority and kind of bully in the relationship. But they made a head of a heart decision to break up with their partner, and this was due to let me see, where is it? One, because they couldn't control the other person. That's one of the reasons. And we'll see what this backstabbing card is out here. So this got to been something else. What was okay? So my next card that came out is a strength card in the upright. Okay. And it says courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influence, inner strength, focus, and compassion. This also came out for the camera card. Why is the strength card here, Spirit? We have the Hermit in reverse. So this person became very isolated. They kind of withdrew from their partner in this relationship, creating some distance. There had to have been something else going on behind the scene in order for them to do this. Because so far, I don't see anything on the table that's telling me like maybe this person was struggling with something on a personal basis, like internally. But they withdrew and created distance with this person, with their partner, which created some loneliness for the other partner. Okay. That's exactly what they did. That's why the strength card is here. Because the strength card is representing courage like a power card, like strength. Like this person wanted to overpower their partner. That's why the strength card is here. And clarifying the strength is the hermit card. This person withdrew from their partner. So because they couldn't overpower them like they wanted to, they started pulling back, which is another form of control. So one way or the other, they were going to figure out how to control their partner. Okay. They wanted the upper hand. They wanted to call the shots. Okay. And they were moving out of ego. I would say ego, a head over heart decision. They made a decision based on their ego for something. For something else was going on because I can feel it. And we're going to find out what it is. Okay. So the Magician card is the next card that came out. Okay. And it's in the upright. So just like I said, this person is the magician. They were hiding something. They were creating and doing something behind their partner's back. That's exactly what was going on. Just like I said, there was something going on, which is why this person was behaving the way they was back and forth. Okay. Anything for the engagement ring card, Spirit? But they were doing this, trying to hide something that was going on. So they would create a diversion, is what I'm hearing. So they may have started an argument or something to that effect, and try to start an argument with their partner. But it was just to throw the partner off because they were doing something else behind their back. So for the engagement ring card in the upright, we got the High Priestess. See, and you being the partner or the other person, whoever the other person was that this person was hiding stuff from. You were in the high priestess energy in the upright. You were picking up on something. So maybe you were picking up on the signs and stuff and symbols of certain things they were saying and behavior. Maybe they started moving funny. You was picking up on that. Your intuition was picking up on that and telling you, hey, there's something going on here. There's something happening here. Mm-hmm. Maybe you always listen to your intuition and everything, or maybe you had to start focusing more and listening to your intuition because maybe it was just too much going on. Maybe you start having dreams or something like that. So this is a divine feminine card, but keep in mind roles can be reversed, so it could be divine feminine, divine masculine that I'm speaking of. Male or female. Just flip the roles as needed. And you had to start trusting yourself because you couldn't trust your partner. So you start relying on your intuition, okay? You was a person of integrity trying to, maintain things the way that you always have, but something just wasn't right and your intuition was trying to show you something. And then we have the Empress in reverse, which is also clarifying the engagement ring card, okay? And with the Empress in reverse, um, this person was giving you anxiety. They were giving you anxiety. But one thing I want to say that this card is letting you know that this person, what they were doing behind your back, I feel like was fooling around with somebody else. Okay, that's why we have the Empress card in the reverse. This person wasn't. This person wasn't focused on you, or you weren't focused on someone in the relationship. Your attention or their attention was somewhere else with someone else. Okay. Maybe it was something that you wanted from this person, Virgo, or somebody wanted from you, and you got a little impatient, so you started looking somewhere else, or they did. And this is why the focus wasn't on the other person. And whoever did this behind the other person's back was being very selfish because they didn't want to give. That's why they pulled back and withdrew from the other person. And the reason they did that and they started doing that, you started feeling like this person's not paying as much attention to you. It's because they were giving their attention to someone else. Okay. This is the Empress in reverse. Anything else for engagement ring, Spirit? Anything else on that? Can you confirm what I said about the Empress, please? In reverse. I really feel like that's what's happening in this spread here. I do know that since you guys separated, the person is missing you. They are thinking about past memories that you guys shared, the really good times, perhaps the vacations, or just the time spent alone together, just enjoying one another's company. They do miss the love that you gave them. They do miss that. We have the Five of Wands in reverse that came out. Okay. I asked why was the Empress in reverse? Why was this person being selfish, and why were they creating anxiety for you and you felt overwhelmed? And why was there infidelity within this relationship? And to confirm that for me, and the Five of Wands came out to say that um, mm, this person was purposely, I think if you remember earlier, I said this person was purposely creating problems back and forth. So sabotage relationship, do something crazy, hurt your feelings, hurt you, stupid, come back, apologize, say they're not gonna do it no more, say they're working on whatever their issues is that's causing the problem. call themselves repairing the damage, do something nice for you, this, that, and the other, and then they do it again, back and forth, back and forth. They were unstable. This is what this is a strife card. This is a I'm a problem card. I'm gonna start an argument with you card over nothing card. This is um I really don't want to give you the attention you need or you asking me for. I don't want to give you the love you're asking me for anymore. I don't want to invest like I used to. So let me start some shit card. That's what this is, okay? Somebody had a problem with you in particular. They wanted to argue, and then they had a problem with, they couldn't just disagree in a cordial, adult, mature manner. They had to cause a problem, make it seem like you were causing problems because you disagreed. That's what they were doing. So they had to cause problems because their attention was elsewhere. That's really what that is. That's why they're the Empress in reverse or the Emperor in reverse. Spirit, we're going to move on to addiction. What do you have for addiction, please? The addiction card is in the upright. And so far, I don't see, like I said, anything like a chemical addiction. These are addicting type of habits that this person may have had, or you. They were possessive and obsessive. They were codependent. Like they didn't want to let the other person be an individual. They tried to even control them down to how they think and how they see things. This person, when they were hurt your feelings and you were hurt theirs, your emotional chakra or whatever you want to call it, your emotions were blocked to where you were either unaware on purpose or just simply unaware of how you were affecting other people, whether you hurt somebody's feelings. They would just say things that without feeling and without regards to how you felt. Okay. And that's what I'm picking up on. This person really had problems showing emotions. Okay. And I asked, why do we have the addiction card here? So we have the Hierophant that popped out in the upright. Okay. The Hierophant card is saying that this person, ooh, big dog. Says institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. Earth sign, Taurus. The thing that stands out on this card to me is social approval. So it could be that this person was listening to other people tell them, because they were running their mouth about y'all relationship and the different issues that y'all were having. And these issues were issues that they caused, okay? Because their attention was elsewhere. And instead of whatever problems they were dealing with at that time, instead of coming to you as their partner, talking to you about it, they went to other people, maybe one person in particular, or maybe several. But somebody was in this person's ear, or they were talking to somebody, and this person, in their response to your person, was telling them how to do certain things, what to say, how to behave within y'all relationship. So this other person was butting in, but they wouldn't be privy to any information within y'all connection if your partner did not go outside your connection to talk to somebody else instead of talking to you. So they were doing this for approval, to look good in someone else's eyes. I don't know if it's one person, more than one person. Okay. They were looking at they seemed like they needed, oh excuse me, they seemed like they needed approval from other people. But again, why would you need approval from other people when you could just talk to your partner? And that's just how I see it. But instead of them talking to they could have went to their family, could have been some friends they knew before y'all got together or whatever. They went to talk to somebody, could have been an ex, ain't no telling. And I feel like it was an ex, but somebody was in their ear and had them behave in a certain way. They weren't reasoning with this person like, well, why don't you go talk to that person? and see what they say. You know, if you feeling like this, you maybe want to sit down. If you, know that they weren't saying it like that. They were like, I think, your person, I think Virgo is funny acting anyway, I think they doing that to try to be funny, and you should probably be funny right back. As a matter of fact, you should do this, and that, and the other, because I think they're trying to make you feel stupid or something to that effect, in their ear talking. Anything else for addiction? Got two cards for addiction. First one, it's a Four of Cups in the upright. Okay. So this person was disconnecting from you, and you probably felt disconnected from them because y'all interactions change in a drastic way because this person was listening to other people. So you guys started feeling disconnected. They was barely giving you anything. Look at that picture. They had 4 cups, so they was only giving you one. Only one. Just a little bit. So basically it started breadcrumbing you because they were dealing with somebody else. Then we have the Chariot in the upright, okay? And the reason why they were breadcrumbing you is because they were thinking about leaving and being with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Yep. They're thinking about being with somebody else. So this is why I said whoever was in their ear is not telling them to work things. They weren't telling them to work things out with you. That's not what they were doing. They were in their ear in a negative way to cause more division. So this person came back to you when y'all interacted. You can feel if something was there, that something was in the way. You guys weren't communicating like you used to. You weren't as close as you used to be. And anytime you try to reach out to your partner, they seemed like they were pushing you away in subtle ways. And then that just became to a point to where they started pushing you away. And just in more, being a little bit more aggressive with it, like they didn't want to spend any time with you. They were doing it. It started to feel like a chore. Like you felt like your partner was only spending time with you because that's what they felt like they're supposed to do. So more like obligation. Okay. Anything else on the addiction card? This is why this person was trying to control you, because they knew that you were picking up on this. They knew that you were picking up on their behavior and that you were suspecting that it was something going on. So they tried to gain control, breadcrumb you to keep you hanging on, but they still was acting weird and trying to push you away at the same time. So it's a little weird acting. It's like they were, just in case they felt like a little paranoid that you was, catching on to what was going on. And so they breadcrumbed you to keep you hanging on, meaning they would, sometimes occasionally act right with you. And then other times when they push you away, it became more aggressive. Okay. So my next card I asked, was there anything else for addiction? And then we get this card. And this is the 6 of Wands in the upright. So the 6 of Wands, oh my gosh, is another card of movement, but it's also a card of being recognized. They wanted public recognition. Like they was running things. They came back to you like they were running stuff. More trying to be more controlling because they were listening to somebody else telling them to do that. They wanted to be the head honcho in charge when they was around you to make you feel like they were some type of leader. So they can get some accolades from you. But when they weren't getting it from you because of the other behavior, the other negative behavior, you really didn't look at them as a leader, and they can feel that. And this is why they ran to someone else. You didn't look at them as the same person that you fell in love with because their behavior changed. And so when you didn't give them what they needed, Virgo, or they didn't give you what you needed, Virgo, you or that person went to someone else who knew what was going on in the household and was telling them or telling you something negative or how to behave around your partner. And this ultimately caused the divide, okay? But this person was doing things to be for approval from whoever they were talking to, whether it was one person or a group of people or more than one person. That's what was going on. We'll move on to the backstabbing card. This person Y'all hear my cat? Hey, mama. Hey, time out. You eat? Huh? So, this is what's going on here. Your person, somebody caught your person's eye. Now, I don't know if this was somebody that you know, or it could be somebody that they know that you don't know. It could be somebody that's been watching the relationship and seeing how close y'all was. It was a beautiful thing going on, Virgo. And somebody got jealous, a little hater going on, being a hater. And this is the person that probably made themselves available for your person. You know, first of all, wanted to be a friend, and then picked up on that. We got the person put their defenses down enough to start talking about what was going on in your relationship, and that's when they started making their move. This is what I'm feeling. So for the backstabbing card, the first card that came out is the Page of Wands in the upright. Okay. So this person caused a lot of heartbreak and pain. They were deceptive and trying to hide what was going on, that they was talking to somebody else. You eventually found out about this, which shocked you. And I don't know if the shock is just the fact that they were talking to somebody else, or the fact that who they were talking to. Maybe you knew who the person was. Maybe this was somebody that was supposed to be your friend, or that came off as though they liked you, whether it was your friend or their friend or a family member. I don't feel like it's a family member. They probably were talking to, but this is somebody that I don't think was related to your person. Okay. So this person as a page was out here exploring. Okay. And they were bringing you page energy while they was out there being the king of swords and the king of cups to other people. Okay. They wanted their freedom and they didn't have the guts to tell you. So, really, they wanted to be out here, but to keep you as well. They wanted to be free to do what they wanted to do, but they didn't want to let you go either, or vice versa. This is you, Virgo, that was behaving this way. It could be. Okay. But this is what was going on. They were bringing page energy, or you was, and they were being the king of cups to other people outside of your relationship. Anything else? That's what this person was doing. But they were deceiving. They were deceiving you. And if you ever asked what was going on, they will always tell you nothing. And after a while, they started getting irritated with you because you kept asking, because you was picking up on stuff. That's why you kept asking. And they knew you were picking up on stuff, which is why they started getting irritated and try to start arguments with you, to try to deflect from you asking the question, because you was getting too close. They felt like you was snooping and being nosy. And they started acting real secretive with their phone around you when they used to just leave it. Like if y'all sitting on the couch together, you might put the phones on the coffee table in front of you together, and you start noticing that their phone wasn't there anymore. They keep it on the other side of them. When you sit next to them, depending on what side you was on, the phone was on the opposite side. Well, this person was being deceptive. Anything else for backstabbing, please? You got the Ten of Pentacles. It came out of sort of sideways, but it's in reverse as well. So I'm going to take it as reverse. This card says, whatever this person was doing behind your back was dark. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily as dark, but it was low vibrational, because Number one, they were talking to somebody else about your problems. That's a problem. That's on the negative end, because why are you talking to somebody else about what's going on in your household when you could just talk to your partner? This is somebody that you were supposed to be in a committed relationship with this person, whether you live together or not. This person, once they started talking to somebody else about their problems, it may have started off as platonic, but that other person quickly either fell in love with your person or wanted your person, became a hater, became jealous, and sowed some seeds of discord with your person, who in turn came back to you with those same seeds of discord and started fights and arguments with you over stupid and petty stuff. Okay. Um, they may have even, I heard accusation. There may have been some accusations that were flying around. Okay. From this person against their partner. You may have started noticing the money between the two of you guys. Their money was a little funny when it didn't used to be. And what I mean is that this person wasn't having the money like they used to, where you guys came together with your money, that they weren't having as much as they didn't want to do the things that y'all usually do. Not the bills and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, they started being sparse with their money, like kind of hold back their money a little bit, start holding back, not wanting to do things like, when y'all would go out to eat or whatever, they start pulling back on going out to eat as much. They don't want to go to entertaining, any entertainment y'all did. They don't want to go to no concerts no more. They want to do certain things that y'all did, whatever it is. I'm just giving examples. And they started, pulling back, not wanting to spend as much money that they normally would spend for the two of you that you both shared in. And then I heard to spending money on you, their partner, or you did this. Okay. Why is that? Why was this person not wanting to? Why did they pull back on their money, Spirit? I got a feeling, but I'm going to see. I'm going to let Spirit tell the story. There's a reason why, and I know it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I feel like the reason why is because they were spending money on somebody else. Because that relationship started off platonic, but I think it moved into the lover romantic area. Exactly. The devil in the upright. Okay? Exactly what I just said. So this person started confiding in someone else, probably of the opposite sex. It could be the same sex, I don't know, but they started confiding in someone else. Instead of that other person they were confiding in, trying to help them to stabilize the relationship or the marriage or whatever it is, a higher level of commitment that you guys had. Instead of them doing that, they started sowing seeds of discord to cause division. Okay. And the reason they flipped from just listening, being a listening ear, is because they were a hater of yours. They did not like you because they looked at you as somebody that had it all with this person, or you were the person, you flip it as you need to. They looked at the other person in that they weren't talking to as competition. This is somebody that seemed happy and in love, like y'all had a really good connection, a really good relationship. That's the way it seemed. Once this person jumped in here, they created a division. This is where the emotional block came from, when you started feeling emotionally disconnected from this person because somebody else already had them in their feelings. And when I say in their feelings, not had them feeling like daydreaming about that person, although they were, but in their feelings, to where their feelings was turned off to you and turned on to this other person. That's what that person did. They flipped the energy. So the emotional connection you had with your partner was flipped to them. And you started feeling like you couldn't connect with that person like y'all used to. The intimacy without having sex was missing. It's starting to dissipate. Like you start feeling the distance, the divide between the two of you. You know, if you all used to cuddle up and stuff, you didn't do that no more. It seemed like they would pull away. They didn't have time for that anymore. They don't want to do that. They seem resistant. And if they allowed you to cuddle up, when you could feel the energy was off, it's kind of like, you know, if they caressed you or you caressed them or y'all held hands, they stopped doing, you know, those things that were natural to y'all at one point. So this person that jumped in to cause division was stealing that. Okay. That's why the devil card came out in the upright. And whatever was going on, they were detaching from you, Virgo. Okay. And being seduced by this other person. That's why the devil card in the upright came out. This is why this person was acting weird. Or this is you that started acting strange and was doing this. And they became toxic. And the relationship became toxic, which is why y'all started fighting and arguing more than usual. Not just your usual normal disagreement and, you know, in the beginning, and y'all come back together. It was easy. Y'all, you know, resolved your issues a lot more easily, you know, before. This is some mess that came up because of this other person where y'all couldn't resolve stuff no more. It just kind of ended. You start going to bed angry and irritated or sad. You started feeling depressed because you couldn't understand what was happening. Okay. And this was you. This is the 9 of Swords. Okay. You see that person sitting up in the night, in the middle of the night, holding their head. This was you. Or this was that other person. You was making somebody else feel that way. But whoever this is, this person was feeling like it was keeping them up at night, causing anxiety. And why is this person sitting in the bed by themselves? Because where was the partner? They started leaving at odd times. You know, in the middle of the night. You in the bed by yourself? Where's your partner? Where's your husband? Where's your wife? This created anxiety, worry, and fear and depression. You know, you had insomnia. You couldn't even sleep. You know? And you start feeling like that the relationship is in jeopardy and y'all was getting ready to break up because this person kept pulling away from you more and more, which is exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. Anything else for the backstabbing card, please? This is really sad because you tried to hold this together, Virgo, or they did. I don't know if this was you acting like this, Virgo, or not. Oh, they flipped and it went back. Anything else for the backstabbing card? Well, this person had you in despair. We're going to move on to the hammer card. Spirit, what do you have for the hammer card? As soon as I said that, we got a card, which let me know we was done with the backstabbing card. Get the 4 of Wands in the reverse for the hammer card. The hammer card is where the sabotaging is and the rebuilding. So the back and forth, the start an argument, start a problem, start an issue, start a fight. Okay. You call them out on the problems, on the issues that you see that they're doing. They apologize, tell you they're going to fix it. They're working on this. Is something they got to work on. And then try to fix the relationship, come back, buy you something, do something nice for you, and then back started to sabotage your relationship again. So it's a continuous cycle. This person was trying to end the relationship but didn't know how because they knew they were guilty, they were wrong. Because they were doing something behind your back. But with this 4 of Wands in reverse, this person is a card of conflict again. This person was creating conflict, okay? They were pulling their support and their emotion back from you and was creating conflict at home on purpose between the two of you guys, okay? Because they were trying to transition out of the connection with you into another one with someone else. So this person was seduced, okay? And this is exactly why they kept fighting with you back and forth. They were wanting you to leave. They were wanting you to call the shots. I mean, not call the shots. They were wanting you to end the relationship. They didn't have the guts at first to end it. And this person that they were with was talking to them and trying to get to show them how to end the relationship. But they felt guilty because they were doing things behind your back and they knew you was trying to figure out why and you were hurt and it was bothering them, which is why they didn't just say, I'm done, I quit, I don't want to be with you. It was hard for them to do that because they knew they were wrong. This is why they apologize and try to make it up to you. Okay. But they would do it again over and over and over again because this person was torn. Okay. What else? What else? Lord have mercy. Anything else? So the hammer card, please. Anything else? Yeah. Hold on. This is really crazy because y'all had a good thing going. Y'all had a wonderful relationship. A lot of times in relationships, when people get tempted, is because they go run into somebody else because they little, if their feelings to get hurt about something, their little ego get in the way, and they need somebody to stroke their ego and make them feel better because they got told about their raggedy behavior. I don't know why people run to other people instead of their partner and then letting them know how they feel. It's like you can't express to your partner everything, then you don't need to be partnered up with nobody and call yourself in a committed relationship if you can't talk to them about how you really feel. Then your partner need to be able to have space for you and not make you feel weird about expressing how you truly feel, whether it's something good or bad, whether you agree or disagree with something or whatever it is. Like if you hurt somebody's feelings, they ought to be able to tell you hurt my feelings, but that person needs to be receptive, and emotionally available to understand what they did, even if they don't feel like they did anything wrong. I think a problem with a lot of people when they run to somebody else is because they don't hold space for their partner. They don't really care about their partner like they say they do, or either they don't know how to show that they care. They don't understand what caring really is. They have one way of seeing things, you know what I'm saying? One way of what they feel like it should be, maybe because of what was modeled in front of them or what type of relationships they had before they got with their person. And they carry that over into every relationship that they're in. And a lot of times these be patterns that need to be broken. So in this case with you, Virgo, whether this is you or the other person, somebody wasn't emotionally available. Somebody wasn't compassionate. Somebody wasn't understanding. And then somebody didn't know how to handle constructive criticism. Somebody didn't know how to sit down and talk about things and talk it out with their partner, where each person is giving space to the other and come back together. Somebody didn't know how to do that. They ran off in another direction instead of coming to their partner, which was the wrong thing to do. And this is when they did that, that was the start of the end. Okay. And so for the hammer card, my second card is the 5 of Swords in the upright. This is another card of conflict. Okay. So this person, when I say that they were purposely trying to sabotage this relationship, that's exactly what they was doing. They was ultimately trying to just leave. There was conflict, disagreements, competition, winning at all costs, sneakiness, theft, abusive relationship. Okay. So they would steal your energy when they would come back and apologize, and because they knew you were a good person, that you really loved them. So they would steal your energy. After they sabotage and create a problem, they will come back and apologize. Y'all would make up and whatever, however way y'all make up. You give that good love again, all over again. They get that, then they take that energy that they just stole from you to the person that's in their ear. Okay, they will create conflicts. There's going to be disagreements. Going to be arguments for small things, very small things. Just making it seem like you're a problem, and that's why I'm leaving. When they finally tell you that they were abusive, I don't know what kind of abuse. Probably emotional. Number one, I said that in um, my last live, I believe. But normally, in any type of abusive situation, it starts emotional. Okay, emotional abuse is not just um, not being open emotionally, turning off their emotions. It could be, um, like I said, not giving space, not caring what's important to you. They purposely, it's on purpose. It's to make, a lot of times it's that's exactly what it is. Abuse is on purpose. So if it's emotional abuse, they purposely try to scar you mentally. So it started there. And I don't know, for some of you Virgos, it may have went beyond just emotional abuse. It could be some other kind of abuse. Or this was you doing this to somebody else. Anything else for the hammer card? This is crazy because this did not have to be. So this person, and I'm thinking, as I'm thinking about this person, all they had to do was talk to you about this, or all you had to do was talk to them about this. This did not have to go in that direction. Okay. All y'all had to do was sit down and have an adult conversation about how you made each other feel. That's all you had to do. An adult conversation. But no, that's not what happened. This person couldn't even do that. This person felt like their ego was so affected by this, which they allowed themselves to feel affected, that they had to go out and do something else. I guess this was kind of like retaliation or something like that against you, since you said what you said to this person, and they want to call off the engagement and everything else. They took things to the extreme for a little or nothing because their little ego was affected by you telling them about themselves. So that shows immaturity on their part, because why would you start a fight where there is none? Why would you start an argument where there is none? I would even wager to say to this person, when you brought up things about them that bothered you, and you were just trying to let them know how they were making you feel, I would even wager to say that they went into the whataboutisms. Well, what about when you this? And what about when you that? You're not so perfect type thing. You talking about me. What about you? What about when this? When we was over so-and-so house, or when we was this and this. Remember when we was out in public? Instead of just listening to what you had to say. And that's why I said the emotional part that was blocked. And I feel like it was purposely, they have a deficiency in that area as well, but I think it was purposely to ignore how, they want to refuse to take accountability. Simple as that. And then we got the it's a Two of Swords in the up. I'm sorry, in the reverse. It's exactly how it came out. This is the Two of Swords in reverse. This person had created confusion between the two of you. That's why you were sitting up at night in this Nine of Swords energy. Sitting up at night, holding your head. This person wasn't even home. Okay. This person was out doing whatever. And you had insomnia. You couldn't even sleep, trying to wait up for somebody to come home. So either you left or that person left. You in one of these roles. Okay. Anything else? You thought things were going to be beautiful between the two of you. You did not see this coming. I mean, I think you knew something was going on. Yo, high priestess, the high priestess is out here on the table, which was letting you know what was going on. You kind of knew. At first you didn't, and then it just hit you. You knew what was going on. Yep. Because you thought it was going to be paradise. This is at the bottom of my oracle deck. You thought it was going to be a beautiful relationship, but this person, obviously, whatever they were doing, destroyed that. Okay. And then to find out, I think the shocking part for you is to find out who it was. So I think you know who this person is. I don't know if it was your friend or theirs. You were friends with somebody and you figured out who it was. And when you saw, you could have been the one to go ahead and just cut it off so they can quit sabotaging it. You ain't got to go back and forth. You don't got to keep apologizing. You ain't got to keep telling me you sorry, you working on it. You ain't got to say that this is a flaw that you have, and this is something that you know that you have an issue with and you're going to work on it. And you ain't got to come back and you ain't got to buy me nothing to show that you're sorry about what you did. You ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to keep coming back and forth. You don't have to apologize no more. I already know what's going on. I already see it. I done figured it out. And then the fact that it's who it is, like really, honestly, you can just go. And you meant that. Yep. Because here's the two of pentacles in the upright. Okay. And this person was juggling. That's exactly what they was doing. They was juggling you and somebody else. That's what they were doing. They were juggling. Could have been more than one person. Because this card said multiple priorities. Okay. So other people, one other person or people, they prioritized over your relationship between the two of you guys. They put them ahead. That was more important. This is why they was moving funny. This is why they was acting funny. This is why they was starting arguments. This is why they was being petty. This is why they was doing all of that. This is why they was sabotaging the relationship, because they was out here juggling. Okay. This is why they didn't have time for you like they used to. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take the time with you like they used to. This is why they were imbalanced. Because they were caught between decision of staying with you and being in a monogamous relationship versus being out here with several people. This is why, because they was juggling you. It came out on its own. And this is what ruined this image in your head of what you thought you had with this person, which was paradise. Okay. This is what ruined it. Okay. This is what ruined it. So this was no more. You figured it out. So you're probably the one that said it's over because you got tired, because this person was seduced, like I said before. And this is my oracle deck, so I'm just pulling as it comes off the bottom of the deck. Okay, I just sat it down. Remember, I used these when I started. Yep. And you used to be the one that used to chase this person all the time, meaning trying to figure out what's going on. Baby, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? Why is this? Why are we having these problems? Why is we arguing? Why is you yelling at me? What's wrong? Why you seem so angry all the time? You used to do that and then you stopped. That's why it's in the reverse, to chase a car. You stopped doing that. You really did. You had the engagement ring. Y'all were engaged or talking about marriage, or you actually were engaged. You might have actually had the engagement rings and everything, and y'all were supposed to be moving forward to a wedding. Here's a wedding bells card, wedding rings card. So y'all was supposed to be moving on to a marriage. Okay. Yep. That's what y'all was supposed to have been doing, because this is what y'all had planned. It was in the works. That's why the engagement, y'all had engagement rings. That's why y'all was talking about getting married. This was supposed to have been a committed relationship. Okay. But when this person started acting like they was acting, you start telling them about themselves. And here's the mirror card in the reverse. You started telling them about themselves. There's different things that you started noticing about them, but they didn't want to hear it. That's why it was in the reverse. Okay. Because in actuality, they were trying to put to death the relationship because they was with somebody else or some other people. And it's in the reverse. But they didn't want you to know that was going on. That's why this is in the reverse. They was trying to put that to death, and you was trying to keep it, bring it back to life. And they was fighting you tooth and nail. This is why y'all was arguing, because y'all no longer wanted the same thing. Okay. You was trying to convince them to make the right choice. See, you got healthy choice here, because the choices they was making was with somebody that was low vibrational, that was destroying y'all relationship. And it's in the reverse because they weren't trying to hear it, because they were seduced. Okay. You sitting at the house, reminiscing, sitting up in the dark. You can't sleep. You got insomnia. Okay? And during the day when y'all was apart, or even if y'all was together, you pictured in your head how it used to be between the two of y'all, how close y'all used to be. You did. And then y'all took pictures together and different places y'all was at. You was all up on each other, cuddled all up and everything. It was a beautiful thing. Y'all were taking pictures. You was reminiscing and thinking about that. And you was sitting up there wondering what happened. Okay? And after y'all broke up, you had some nostalgia. So all you had were the pictures of either that person. All they had was the pictures. Who's it? The artist, R&B artist Case. He has a song called Faded Pictures. So all you had was the pictures. Okay? And this person right now, you're not trying to talk to them. You had to cut them out of your life because they were draining you. You were stressed out. You had anxiety. So you had to cut them out of your life. Okay? And now you had to heal your heart. And that's what's coming out here. Okay? Because now you have to heal from the damage that was done. This person traumatized you. You understand what I'm saying? It's exactly what happened. But you need to understand something. This person is stalking you, Virgo, or you're stalking somebody. This is a sunglasses card in the reverse. This person is not wanting to be seen, or you're not wanting to be seen, which is why it's in the reverse. Somebody is stalking somebody since y'all broke up with one another. Okay? Somebody got the clarity and the truth, and they finally decided that I am done. I'm done with this person. There's a sword and the rose. So the sword is cutting, the rose is the love. So somebody had to cut out the love that they have for somebody and have clarity about the situation and leave it alone. Okay? The revelations came that this ain't what you thought it was. This ain't that. That's not what it was. You thought that it was going to be that paradise, but this ain't that. So you cut it out. No matter how you felt for that person, or how you love that person, now it's you making a head over heart decision. Okay? Because you thought this was your soulmate. And that's not what it was. Okay? Yep. So you had a coffee cup card, which is saying that you was savoring the moments that you used to have with this person. This is another card of reminiscing. You know what I'm saying? Where you sit down and you think about your life a lot of times when you're drinking coffee. So you were savoring the moments, thinking about those good times as well that you had with this person that got messed up. So you got to sit down also and think and get yourself together. That's what the coffee cup is also representing. Okay? You got to have a talk with yourself. Yo, not to settle for this mess no more, not to deal with this mess and really cut it off for real, for real. And you might have to start over, but it's only temporary because here's the Phoenix card right here. It's temporary. You about to rise to the occasion, rise to whatever it is that you need to do is coming for you. So what you lost will be given back to you. And the shell of a person you was, or this person, when they got done with you, you felt like you wasn't the same person you was before. It's like you felt empty inside. This is the Phoenix card saying that everything is about to change for you. Okay? Everything is about to be new. It could be you have a changed mind. Your mind is getting ready to be renewed. And it could possibly be some love that's coming for you as well. Okay? Because you're getting ready to ascend. And best believe the person that is stalking you, this is the Ascension card that came out in the reverse. They know that you're getting ready to do something big, that some changes is coming for you, and they know that you are fully let go. So, and this in the reverse, the Ascension card, because they don't want you to get over them. They want you to stay depressed and traumatized. Okay? But that's not about to happen. And it's going to be a shock to them when you do your big one or what you're getting ready to do. That ain't got nothing to do with them, okay? It's going to be a sudden change. It's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to surprise the hell out of this person. You understand what I'm saying? And there's going to be a lot of talking that's going to be going on. They're going to be on the phone talking about you with other people, all the other people that they put before you that they said they made a priority over you. There's going to be a lot of talking. You understand what I'm saying? But you about to get your party on. You about to get your groove on. You about to get your thing going. This is all the stuff that you wanted to do with them. You about to do it yourself and start having some fun, your own self, without them. Okay? And they're going to have a poker face and act like they don't even care what you doing. But they're going to be stalking and watching you while they acting like they don't care. It's in the reverse because they don't want you to see how they really feel. They're going to be like that if they ever come across you or any people that's connected to you, anybody that y'all have in common. They're going to have that poker face on. But it's in the reverse because they don't want nobody to know how this is affecting them, that you're moving on without them. Okay. And that's when they're going to feel like, you know, the window of opportunity to get back with you is closing. Here's a clock card and it's in the upright. They're going to feel like they're running out of time. Okay. They're gonna feel like, you know, they want to heal the relationship, but is it up? Is the time over? Is it up? Is there any more time left? Do you have space for them? Is there any time for them to try to hop back in there and get back with you? And the coffin card comes out next to say, no, there's not. You guys are not. You will not be reconnecting. The reason it's in reverse is because this is not what they want. They don't want you to put to death this relationship. They want to know is your feelings. Don't please don't stop loving me. Do you have anything left for me? Do you still feel the way I know? That's why it's in reverse. This is in the reverse because they don't want you to stop having feelings and emotions for them. They want your emotional bank to be open while theirs is closed. Okay. They know they broke your heart, but they want you to overlook that. It's almost like when they come back, they're gonna want you to start there, like, and forget what happened, Virgo, or you're doing this. They want you to forget what happened. They want you to feel. They don't want you. They want you to start right there when they come back. They don't want to talk about what happened and what they did. Okay, it's again not taking accountability. This is in reverse because they don't want your heart to remain broken. They want it to be open. Okay, that's why it's in the reverse. Okay, but this person is a snake and they snaked you. It's in the reverse because they don't want you to see them as a snake. That's why I said when they come to you, they're gonna come to you like ain't nothing happened. They want you to forget everything before that point when they come back. Okay, and start there, start anew, like you don't have no feelings, no emotions, there's no pain, no scars or nothing from what they did to you, and just forget that and start over and, you know, everything brand new. We're not taking accountability for me being a snake. That's why it's in the reverse. Don't look at that. I don't want you to see me as a bad person. This person has outdated thinking to think that that is okay to come to you and say, start here and now. Forget everything else that happened before. You can't hold on to old grudges and stuff. You need to learn how to forgive. This is outdated thinking, old school. And that's why this is in the reverse, because they don't want you to see it that way. This is all manipulation. You understand? And they don't want to take you out on a date. Can I take you out on a date? That's what they're going to suggest. Let's go do something together. Let's go celebrate getting back together and this and that and the other. But you got to understand this person is wearing a mask. They're not playing. This is a game. I said they're not playing. They're not playing with trying to get you back in their clutches again, but they're wearing a mask, which means their intentions ain't no good. So don't go out on that date. You were in a karmic relationship. Understand what I'm saying? A karmic relationship. Wasn't nothing good about that relationship. Your abundance was messed up with this person. That's why it was in the reverse. That's why this is in the reverse. Because as long as you was connected to that person, you can never get your money together. They tried to keep you stagnant. That's why they was trying to control everything. But you wasn't trying to let nobody control you. You was fighting back, which is why they went to somebody else, because you wouldn't allow them to walk all over you. But as long as you was connected to this person, your money wasn't right. As long as you was connected, you couldn't seem to get a hold of your finances. That's because you was connected to a karmic. That's why. And the universe is not about to bless no. God's not about to bless no mess. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we say. You were the karmic. Why would you receive blessings that is for you to share with a karmic? It's not for them. So in actuality, y'all breaking up is a good thing, Virgo. Okay? Because again, this girl with the snake in the reverse, this person was a snake. And it's in the reverse because they didn't want you to see him that way at the time when y'all was together. And they don't want you to see them that way now that y'all are apart, because they want to come back. Okay. But dragonfly is here. Dragonfly represents newness. Okay. This represents newness. It represents change. So change is coming for you. You're moving into your love and light era. You're finding yourself, you're loving yourself. And the dragonfly represents that change. You're not going to be the same person that you were. You will receive a love call. It's in the reverse because it's not really love. It wasn't love then. They don't want you to see that. Okay. But they are going to call you and they're going to tell you how much they miss you. That's what they want to say. And if they can't get through, they're going to text. So it's up to you what you do with that, whether you blocking that person or not, or if you're gonna talk to them and just be straight up on how you feel and put it and dead that then and there. Because they're trying to tell you that they love you, but the love card come out in reverse. So this is telling you that's not love, like I said. Okay. It's because this person had many options, keys on the ring. Many, many, many options. So it wasn't just one person. It may have started with one person, but they were one of many. Okay. Keys on the ring represent options. Okay. This person really was trying to hold you back, Virgo. You shipping in reverse. They didn't want your ships to come in. What I said, when you was with this person, your money was funny. Because this person was trying to sabotage that as well to keep you dependent, a codependent type of relationship, which came out with the addiction card. You see codependent on there? The first word. That's why they were doing that. So ships is in reverse because they didn't want your ship to come in. They didn't want you to get ahead. They didn't want you, you know what I'm saying, to be successful. This person was not a supporter of yours. They were a hater. Okay. And then you have the butterfly card is in here. They could tell that you were something special, and they was trying to hold that back as well. They didn't want you to transform into that beautiful thing that you were becoming. So they were sabotaging this relationship and in essence sabotaging you from becoming who you were meant to be. Okay. And you were fighting back. I promise you were fighting back. You were putting up boundaries and everything. But they had a problem with that, which is why the not today card is here. You was fighting back saying, not today. This is not about to happen. I don't care what you're talking about. And it's in the reverse because they were trying to push against that. They did not want you to put up no boundaries or nothing against them. They wanted you to put your defenses down, do what I tell you to do, kind of thing, but in a subtle like way. My nose is itching. I don't know why. And you put your boundaries up. You see that hand on this card? That's you. Tell me no, I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to hear that. But they don't want you to do that. That's why it's in the reverse. They were playing on your emotions. Remember I said their emotional bank was empty. They had turned it off on purpose. They purposely turned their emotions off in order to traumatize you and not be there for you in an no emotional support whatsoever. But this teddy bear card is representing you. They knew you were a sweetheart. They knew you were a good person. They knew that you loved them for real. And they used that against you. It's in the reverse because of that. And it's also in the reverse because now that y'all not together, they don't want you to get it to nobody else. They know how you love. Okay? That is why it's in the reverse. And that's why they're stalking you. Because they're trying to see if you with somebody else and you about to get that good love away. Okay? And they lied to you and told you they were your twin flame. That's why it's in the reverse. That's a lie. Okay? But I want you to understand, I said it earlier, and here's the card. Love is coming. Here's Cupid's arrow. It's going to be a surprise. Somebody is going to fall in love with you, or they may already be looking at you. You may already be talking to somebody else already. And you feel like you found love again. You know what I'm saying? Or they feel like that. Okay? You are trying to ground yourself and get yourself together so you can be ready for a relationship and be stable because of what you just come out of. So you are doing that. Okay? And you was dealing with somebody that had narcissistic tendencies that did not want you to see that. That's why this mirror card, this golden mirror card is in the reverse. They did not want you to see that they were love bombing you. And this was a one-sided relationship. That's why it's in the reverse. The person that you're with or about to be with, you're going to have some insane passion with this person. So, right? You're going to have burning desire. Y'all going to have equal interest. It's going to be somebody that's more on your level. There's going to be a lot of sparks. Y'all going to have a lot of fun. Insane chemistry. This person tried to make you feel like you was not enough. So they tried to hold you back in all kind of ways and make you feel small. Like nobody will want you. They may have even told you when you broke up with them that nobody gonna want you. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing without me. So they tried to make you feel like you was not enough. But in actuality, this person is a runner. This is what they do. They sabotage relationships. They don't know how to be in a relationship without ruining it. And sabotage. This is them. This is a pattern for them. Okay. You just said you weren't gonna continue to stick around for that, you know, and you about to be with somebody else and about to have unconditional love, but they don't want you to have that. And this is the blowing kisses card, because you were unconditional with them, but they didn't reciprocate that. Okay. So on this card, it says unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness and love, affection, return. That's what you're about to have with somebody else. That's what you was trying to give to your ex or the person you was with. And it's in the reverse because they don't want you to give it to nobody else. I said that a little earlier. So now you're separated. They don't want that to happen. See, separation in reverse. They're mad because y'all separated. They want to get back together. Okay. But they are self-indulgent and they don't want you to know that. This person was selfish. This was all about them. It's all about what they wanted to do, and the sneakiness of their behavior and their character. It's in the reverse because they were hiding that from you the whole time. Okay. This is your reading. It is at the end. And so I hope that this was informative. I hope that it helped you. I hope that you got something out of this. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated for you, how you felt about this reading, if this is something that happened to you already. Just let me know. Let me know, guys. I hope that you guys were able to hear me really well. And just do me a favor, go ahead and like this live video, like, share, and subscribe like you guys have been doing. I really appreciate you doing that. Let me see, there was something else I wanted to say. I said it at the beginning. Don't forget that I am getting ready to start the podcast that's coming up soon, and I am working on a book, which I will give you all that information once everything is set up for both of those different projects that I have going on. Remember, it is not where you start, it's where you end. So if you're starting on something and it seems small at that time, keep working on it and keep building it up, and doors will open for you. Things will gradually take off for you for whatever it is. Remain consistent. Don't give up. Have faith and keep going. Never quit. You might get tired, but don't quit. You may bend, but don't break. And just keep on moving. That's the best way to live life, is just to keep on moving. You can get knocked down, get back up, and keep going. And just keep going. There was something else I wanted to say, and I'm trying to remember what it is. I guess I better start writing stuff down because I just keep forgetting. That way I won't forget. All right, guys. So I'm going to let you go. I want you to have a good night. I'm going to do a couple of shorts for you guys, and then we're going to call it a night. Okay? Peace, love, and light, y'all. Bye.